stunned as all of us watching the game? Like play? Were you going, I can't believe we've been beaten by Richmond?
Oh, it wasn't anything like that, Limo. It was pretty, it was frustrating, I'll give you that, and annoying.
Tell us a bit about what it was actually like to be out there. Did it hit you between the eyes? You wouldn't have been expecting it.
We're probably down because we just, our skill level wasn't that good either, so that made it even look worse. And our turnovers were all over the place, and then when Richmond got it, they really controlled it. And, their execution was excellent.
Is it fair to say they beat you at your own game? I mean, you've played that keepings off football.
It actually went through my mind for halfway through the first quarter.
Yeah.
This is what we do.
So how did you combat it? How did you try to combat it?
Well, not very well, obviously. But
did you yell out, "Stop copying us"?
They took a record amount of marks. They took 181, was it?
Yep.
Yeah. Did you ever think of manning them up, or is that impossible to do? Or?
Oh, that's the call from the crowd, isn't it? You've got to man up, but we try to. They work well on their blocks, and they gather in the middle. And for them to execute that, also they wanted to do in the game, was sensational.
And yet throughout the game, nobody went near Joel Bowden. He sort of sat behind the play pretty much from go to woe and picked up 34 possessions and had about 21 marks. Could you understand why no one just went and actually stood next to him, shoulder
thanks
to
for
shoulder?
bringing that up. I was on Joel Bowden for a little bit. Just the way they broke the lines in regard to blocking, what I mentioned before. They blocked really well. That's how they got them loose. And then their pinpointing pinpoint passing when someone was loose was excellent.
Now Richmond were paying $5.25 today. Did Eddie Crow boys have a punt?
I don't know, better ask Roo. He might.
Caro would have a story if that was the case.
Neil, what did Neil Craig say? We love Neil Craig. When Neil Craig was first appointed as Adelaide, I think a lot of people here in Victoria were like, "Who is this guy?" But it seems like an amazing man. I had a brief chat to him. I probably had a few beers on Brownlow night. But he seems like an amazing guy. What's he like, and what was his reaction today?
He's very professor-like at sometimes, because obviously he's got his sports science background with him and Rick Charlesworth being very similar in their personalities and styles, but and teacher-like. So he's always teaching, and whenever he's talking to you, he's always teaching you something.
Something he brought up during the week was DOMS. Delayed onset muscle syndrome, is that right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be soreness, but I got the syndrome.
Soreness, yeah, DOMS. So you've played 2 weeks in a row at Telstra Dome. Tell us what that means in terms of DOMS.
Richmond did the same thing. It's just, it usually takes a few days. Like, you feel all right on the Monday after a game. We played on Sunday last week. You feel all right, and then Tuesday and Wednesday it starts to catch up with you. When you find that when you have a really high contact, high physical game, that 2 or 3 days later catches up with you. So
you are a fairly strong man, though, aren't you? I mean, you're a big guy. Apparently you're almost the strongest guy at the Crows. Is that right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Is there one man who is stronger than you? Does bench presses more weight than you? Is there?
The Roo at the moment.
Yeah, Mark Prosciutto. Little Mark bench presses more than you.
Well, I'd love to hear you say Little Mark in front of Mark Prosciutto.
I'm saying he's big in many ways, but but anyway. Then again, whatever.
Another scandal. Scandal count is 4 before the game tonight.
And they all involve men and debut. This is getting more and more interesting.
Look, Red, I want to ask you something. Do you want to be the strongest of the club if you have to look like this when you bench press? This is Mark Prosciutto. Have a look at him. He looks like he's got a bulldog under his chin.
I don't know. I think when you're talking about the other department, I think Birdman's got him covered there as well.
Hello.
5 scandals. 5 scandals on before the game. Something that may not be as scandalous is the skills of the game. We love checking out the skills of the game. Limo, I'm not sure if you knew this, Rhett, played 2 reserves games for West Adelaide. He's the professional on this panel, so he will present Limo's footy clinic.
Now, I know the footy clinic's your favourite segment of the show, where we focus on a special area each week. This week we're focusing on running into an open goal. Now, it's not as easy as it looks, and a lot of players get it wrong, which is why I've gone to an expert in this particular area, Andrew Lovett, last week against Carlton. Have a look at him. Here they come forward. There he is in an open goal. Beautiful. Here I... Oh, hey! Can I... Oh, and... He was so close. All right, I'm going to fall over and get it off the ground and just like a circus trick. And then Carlton
I'm sorry, Limo. What did he do wrong there? I didn't pick it.
Hard to pinpoint, Pete.
Hard to-
Exactly.
Yeah, it is hard to pinpoint. Well, that's excellent work. That was Lemo's Footy Clinic.
Time for a break. Red Biglands to stick with us. We'll give you the scores from Subiaco. The Kangaroos travelling over to take on the Dockers when we return. Tool of the week still to come. Plenty more. Stick with us on Before the Game. Before the Game, Red Biglands, Adelaide, Ruckman Ford, our special guest in the show, on the show. And Lemo, you're a bit intrigued by something to do with Red Biglands.
I want to know, Rhett, has anyone ever told you that you look like someone?
Well, actually, in the Herald Sun about 6 years ago, I got Neil Balm.
Oh, that is a big insult.
And the other,
I've always got
I didn't say to who. Hey, well, we've actually found someone that you do look a little bit like. Have a look at this. Patrick Swayze. Can you see the similar? Have you had that before?
only from you, Lemo.
Oh, only from me, really? Oh, there's a
Nobody
little bit
backs
there.
Brett into a corner.
No, but in more recent times, there's been another person pop up on our TV screens who I think you look a little bit like. Check this out, Jamie from Big Brother. Now, come on, mate. Can you just slip this on for us? And let's have a look
Chuck it on.
and see how Rhett Biglands matches up to Jamie from Big Brother.
Wait. Can you take your shirt off and say something dumb?
That is an amazing similarity.
Do you think so?
Oh, well, yeah,
Thanks,
sort of
Sam.
say that to back Lemo. There's been a huge game going on at Subiaco as we've been talking here. The Kangaroos journeyed over to take on the Fremantle Dockers. The game is now over. Let's have a look at the scores. And here they are.
Results just in, and as you can see, it was close at half-time, just 3 points in it, but Kangaroos held goalless in the third term and managed just one more goal for the game. Matthew Pavlich had a beauty, kicked 6 majors, and I think most disappointing for the Roos is that in that second half just lacked a little bit of leadership, I would suggest. Shannon Grant fairly quiet, and Nathan Thompson as well, but good on the Dockers, got their game going in the second half and enjoying a nice little win at home.
How good a player is Matthew Pavlich, Rhett? Where does he stand in the overall of the competition, do you think?
Obviously, he came through Woolworths Torrens with myself. I'm good mates with him. We keep trying to get him back to Adelaide every year, but his versatility, he can just play up forward on the ball. His aerobic capacity is strong, and he's really mature. He's only 22, 23.
There was speculation a couple of years ago that he might come back to Adelaide. Do you think those days are gone? Is he entrenched in WA now?
I think he's out of contract this year, so...
Will you be on
not sure.
You'll be on the phone. Will you be on the phone to him?
I
Personally?
tried, but he's pretty happy in Freo.
Would you take a pay cut to get him back? I mean, it's the team thing, Red, isn't it?
Gonna take the chips that are sold off my chips, eh?
I'll
Mine wouldn't help.
I'll leave some of the pressure off you right now. It's time for our favourite segment. It's the home hardware.
Now, it's no secret that the Western Bulldogs are having a lot of trouble with their big men. They're getting injured, aren't they? They're having trouble keeping them on the park, and I think I know why. Brian Harrison, last week's Bulldogs Port Adelaide game, got injured. A really bad head knock. Let's watch this, all right? He's gone for a big mark. Watch him now. Crunch. Bang. Absolutely concussed. One more shot of that. Let's just officially, yes, bang. He was suffering from a bad concussion. He's in trouble, all right? He sits on the bench, right, it's near the end of the game. The doctor's laughing at him. The man is hurt. Now, they won the game. It's about 3 minutes later. They're singing the song. There's Brian. He's still in trouble, obviously in trouble. Don't touch him. Bulldogs players, don't do that. No. No, don't. Adam Cooney, do not grab him around the head. He's had a concussion. Please don't grab him. Don't grab him. And don't do it again. Cooney, leave the man alone. Anyway, that's why Adam Cooney is this week's Home Hardware Tool of the Week. Now, Adam wins a Works 800-watt keyless hammer drill. You've got the power from Home Hardware.
But you'd certainly hope that Adam would pass the drill on to Brian Harris, because, you know...
Well, I believe he should, and I don't think Brian should do any drilling lately, because that would hurt your head, wouldn't it, if you drilled?
You'd imagine.
What do you think, Red? Have you ever had...
I haven't drilled lately.
Now, Red, you go home next week. You're back. We're working very, very blue tonight. It's not good. You're going home next week. You're taking on Carlton next week, I believe.
Saturday afternoon at Amy Stadium.
So you'll be stung. You'll be keen to atone for today's performance against the Bulldogs?
Yeah, there was a great deal of disappointment in the change rooms today. Boys were flat, very flat, so there'd be a pretty quiet flight home. So,
well, if you think Richmond were hard, you wait till Carlton hit you next week.
Just take it easy on them next week, Rhett, if you wouldn't mind. Thanks for coming in. It's really good. Rhett Bigland's our special guest on the show. We'll take a break on before the game and come back and look at the other games to complete round 8. Very keen to see what Pete Hallier's tips are. He's one of the great tipsters on the planet, by the way.